Dr. Johanna Budwig was a German biochemist, pharmacologist, and author with a doctorate in physics, who worked as the chief expert consultant for drugs and fats at the former Federal Institute for Fats Research in Germany. She was nominated for the Nobel Prize 7 times and was described as the world's leading authority on fats and oils. She wrote over a dozen books in German and published numerous scientific papers. She was one of the first to understand the tremendous healing properties of omega-3 essential fatty acids and about the many dangers of hydrogenated oils. She dedicated her life to teaching others about this important knowledge. Dr. Budwig developed her healing protocol in the early 50s after years of extensive research. The protocol is based on the consumption of flaxseed oil with low-fat cottage cheese, organic foods and juices, light exercise, fresh air, and the healing powers of the sun. At her clinic in Germany, she reported helping over 2,400 patients with all types of cancer during a 50-year period. The most amazing thing is her documented 90% success rate. Her great contributions to science earned her 7 Nobel Prize nominations, although she never won. And here's probably why. Her protocol offered an effective, low-cost home cure for cancer, so she spent most of her life fighting against the medical industry. The Central Committee for Cancer Research was not happy with her statements and took her to court. But to their surprise, the judge said, "Dr. Budwig's documents and papers are conclusive. There would be a scandal in the scientific world because the public would certainly support Dr. Budwig. Her dream was to spread this life-saving knowledge worldwide. So this DVD is dedicated to the amazing Dr. Budwig, and also to those fighting cancer, their families and caregivers worldwide." Dr. Budwig was very strict with her patients. So let's get started by cleaning up the kitchen and going over the foods and items that promote cancer and other illnesses. Avoiding these items is as important as the diet itself. All foods made with hydrogenated oils should be avoided. Watch out, as they are often used at restaurants and bakeries as cheap alternatives. Another common example is hydrogenated peanut butter. Also note that Dr. Budwig does not allow the consumption of peanuts in her protocol. Avoid all trans fats. These are found in most fast foods, margarine, instant noodles, cup soups, and many other foods. Meats, poultry, seafood, eggs, and butter should all be avoided. Dr. Budwig allowed only low-fat organic cottage cheese and organic milk, which are used in her oil protein recipes. She also allowed small amounts of high-quality cheeses, including Emmentaler, Sprinz, Gouda, and Gesca herb cheese, for example. And occasionally, when travelling, she allowed patients to order fish such as trout, pike, carp, or other fresh fish, but advised them to remove the skin, which contains more toxins. Sugar must be avoided. This includes all artificial sweeteners, cane sugar, corn syrup, and even molasses. Only natural honey and fruit juices in small amounts can be used as sweeteners. Be aware and avoid all preservatives. They are found in soft drinks, potato chips, candies, and many other foods. Highly processed foods including frozen meals, canned foods, cereals, white breads, pastas and pastries should all be avoided. Commercial salad dressings of all types are forbidden. We will be making homemade salad dressings instead. Her recipes include flax oil, quality soy sauce, apple cider vinegar, and pumpkin seed oil. Note that olive oil should generally be avoided as it's not part of this protocol. However, when travelling or eating out, it's best to choose pure, unprocessed olive oil if options are limited. Avoid soy products like tofu, soy milk, soybeans, vegetarian soy burgers, and soy desserts. Only fermented products like quality soy sauces are okay. Watch out for pesticides and toxic chemicals in food, household products, and even cosmetics. All fruits and vegetables must be thoroughly washed to remove toxic residues, even with organic produce. Corn is especially discouraged since pesticides are heavily used on these crops. Microwaving food is never allowed. Watch out for Teflon, aluminium pans and foils. Aluminium can react with food and become toxic. Teflon is also toxic when overheated. And last but not least, leftovers are never recommended. Foods will be prepared fresh, eaten immediately, and never stored. Only healthy, fresh foods should be consumed to maximize the nutritional benefit. Also make sure to avoid using water with fluoride, chlorine, and heavy metals from water pipes. Use high-quality filters for cooking, drinking, and showering as well. Next, we have a list of warnings. Dr. Budwig warned about chemotherapy, radiation therapy, cortisone, painkillers, and hormones added to food. She warned about oxygen therapy, since the cells might not yet be ready to absorb such an increase in oxygen. She warned about blood-thinning drugs, including aspirin, which could be dangerous while on the protocol, as flax oil is also known to thin blood. She warned about tooth cavities and infections. These contain dangerous bacteria and should be taken care of immediately. She warned about high doses of man-made antioxidants, which can interfere with the diet. She did not include any drugs in her protocol. If you are using any prescription medications, be aware since you might need to adjust dosages as the body begins to change. Replay and review these warnings carefully. It may be overwhelming at first, but do your best and seek assistance if necessary. You will be learning a great deal of information in this DVD. Watch each scene carefully and replay as many times as needed. Now, let's begin by learning these 3 foundational recipes. Linamel is a cereal created by Dr. Budwig, made from cracked flax seeds, honey, and a little milk powder. It's an important ingredient in her recipes, and it's also added to juices, wine, and champagne. But since it's only available in Germany, here's how you make your own Linamel at home. You will need a 6:1 ratio of flax seeds to honey. So we have 6 teaspoons of whole flax seeds, 1 teaspoon of pure local honey, and a little milk powder is optional. Use a coffee grinder to grind the flax seeds, but only for about 5 to 8 seconds, since they should not turn to fine powder. Next, add the honey, and use a spoon to knead it into the ground flax seeds. The honey helps to protect the flax seeds, since without honey, they must be consumed within 10 to 15 minutes. But it also adds a great flavor. You might need a second spoon to scrape the seeds off the first one. Once all the particles are coated with honey, your basic Linamel is ready. To make it like the original recipe, you may also add the milk powder. Now let's begin with the oleolux, Budwig's tasty alternative to butter, great in homemade salad dressings, soups and vegetables. You will need 125 ml of flaxseed oil, which must be cold, so we will refrigerate it before starting the recipe. 250 grams of coconut fat, 1 onion and 10 garlic cloves. Start by placing the flax oil in the freezer and let it cool for about 30 minutes. Add the coconut fat and a half-cut onion into a pot or frying pan and cook at 100 degrees Celsius for approximately 15 minutes. Remember, flax oil and oleolux should generally not be heated, but if so, only briefly. Dr. Budwig explains that when heating oleolux, according to her recipes, the sensitive unsaturated fatty acids in the flax oil are somewhat protected by the sulfhydryl group of spices. Add the garlic cloves and heat for an extra 3 to 5 minutes. Grab your cold flaxseed oil from the freezer and add it to a mixing bowl. Use a strainer to strain the oil into the bowl, then mix well and refrigerate. Here's a tip. In case you forgot to refrigerate the flax oil, let the hot coconut oil cool down before mixing. Letting it cool first will also make it safer to handle. The oleolux is used in many of her recipes. It smells and tastes wonderful, like an onion-flavored butter. The linamel muesli is an essential part of the protocol. It must be prepared fresh daily for breakfast. It can also be prepared in many different ways according to taste. You will need 2 tablespoons of linamel or freshly grounded flax seeds, 3 tablespoons of flaxseed oil, 100 grams of organic low-fat cottage cheese or quark. You can also try kefir cheese made from cow or goat milk, or even make your own yogurt cheese at home. You might need 1 or 2 tablespoons of unpasteurized milk if the mixture turns out too thick. Remember, goat milk is easier to digest, so it's another option if needed. 1 tablespoon of pure, raw honey, various flavorings like cinnamon, vanilla, lemon juice, orange juice, bananas, or any other combination. Half a cup to a cup of mixed fruits in season, especially berries, which contain ellagic acid. Now, ellagic acid protects you from cancer-causing substances, and it can also help eliminate cancer cells, stopping the growth of tumours. And omega-3 rich nuts like walnuts, Brazil nuts and macadamia nuts. Remember never to use peanuts. Peanuts are not allowed. Using any cup or bowl, we will be placing the linamel at the bottom, half of the cut fruits, the flax oil and cottage cheese mixture on top like a yogurt, and the rest of the fruits and nuts, so it will taste great and look great as well. To prepare the muesli, start only with the cottage cheese and flax oil. Mix them using an immersion blender. A regular blender won't work as the mixture will get stuck under the blades. Be careful not to splash the oil as you mix. You could also stir the mixture with a spoon before blending to prevent splashing. Mix it for about 1 minute until the cream is smooth and the oil has been completely absorbed. If after a minute of mixing the mixture is too thick or the oil has not disappeared, add 1 or 2 tablespoonfuls of milk, but never add water or juices when blending the oil with the cheese, which are the most important ingredients. Here's why. All patients need good, high-quality fats. The electron-rich fats in flaxseed oil, combined with the sulfur-rich protein in the cheese, produces a chemical reaction, making these fats water-soluble and easy to assimilate. This lets your body repair its cell membranes and bring oxygen back to the cell. The healthy, oxygenated cells will flourish in an oxygen-rich environment, and the cancerous cells will starve. This concept is supported by the research of Dr. Otto Warburg, a Nobel Prize-winning biochemist and doctor. Now, add the honey and mix it well. For faster results with the protocol, add less honey when mixing the muesli, or avoid the sweeter items altogether. Add flavors such as cinnamon, vanilla, pure cocoa, shredded coconut, sugar-free apple sauce, or lemon juice, to name a few ideas. Serve the mixture on top of the linamel and fresh fruits. You may garnish with the rest of the fruit and a few nuts on top. It's always fun to try new flavors and combinations, so we will later show you a tasty variation of this basic recipe. Dr. Budwig's patients did not always eat the oil-protein muesli right away. They often started with ground flax seeds for several days along with her diet. These transitional days are especially recommended for patients with liver, pancreatic and gallbladder disease. It may be harder for them to digest the oil, so eating the muesli right away could cause nausea. Her suggestions included having a small bowl of oatmeal with linimol every hour. She also suggested oatmeal soup 3 times a day. You may flavour your oatmeal with grape juice, apple juice, honey or a little milk powder. Note that the amount of oatmeal and linimol should be adjusted to the patient's weight and size. The third option is to have linimol with fresh vegetable and fruit juices throughout the day, which can also be very cleansing. Remember to chew the seeds when drinking the juices to stimulate the digestion. Dr. Budwig gradually increased the amount of muesli, depending on tolerance and on the severity of the case. Only after a few days did her patients start with the full protocol. The quick and beneficial effect of the oil-protein diet is especially evident in such sick people, said Dr. Budwig. At her lab in Germany, Dr. Budwig made exact spectroscopic measurements regarding the light absorption of various oils. And so, in the late 1960s, a proprietary oil blend was created. She wrote, "The oil-protein diet which I have developed is capable, through the immune defense, to break down and expel tumors and metastases. To activate these processes, I also developed oils for external use, the LD oils." For the very serious cases, which in fact accounted for most of her patients, Dr. Budwig used LD oils directly on the skin. LD oil enemas were also used when a patient was too sick to eat. These simple solutions allow the electron-rich oil to get into the body through the skin as well as internally. Here is how. If you have a local problem without metastases, cut a pure cotton cloth to the needed size. Soak the cotton with oil, but since LD oils are now only available in Germany, you can use organic cold-pressed flax oil instead. And place it on the problem area. Cover the cotton with some plastic, wrap it up with an elastic bandage, and leave it on overnight. The skin will absorb the oil for localized healing. Remove the oil pack in the morning and wash the skin. Repeat these steps in the evening and continue with this treatment for a few weeks. If you have problems in multiple areas or cancer with metastases, do the following. Twice a day during the morning and evening, gently massage LD oil or flax oil into the skin over the whole body. Pay special attention to the areas over the internal organs, lymphatic vessels, and problem areas also. But be careful with the eye region to avoid irritation. Leave the oil on the skin for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then take an initial warm shower without soap to open the pores and allow the oil to penetrate the skin even deeper. Rest for another 15 to 20 minutes. Take a second shower, this time with mild soap to cleanse the skin. Repeat this entire process in the evening also. And another option, and especially if the patient is too weak to eat, the oil enema is recommended. This way the oil can be absorbed through the large intestine into the liver. It's beneficial to begin with a warm distilled water enema to cleanse the colon before starting. Use 500 ml or more of distilled, filtered or mineral water. Follow the same instructions as an oil enema, but there's no need to hold the water. Use the restroom until the water is released. For the oil enema, heat approximately 250 ml of oil in a water bath until it reaches body temperature. Fill an enema bucket with the warm oil and allow the oil to reach the end of the plastic tube so all air is removed. Make sure the catheter is well lubricated. If possible, have the patient lie on the right side with knees bent towards the stomach and buttocks slightly raised on a cushion. Insert the catheter very gently and carefully and release the clip. Rest or hold the bucket only slightly above the patient, allowing the oil to fill slowly. A plastic towel should be used to protect the patient's bed, but setting up on a clean bathroom floor is the best option for easy cleanup if needed. Clip the tube back immediately anytime there is the slightest amount of discomfort. Gently massage your lower abdomen. After resting, continue if you are able. Having a small radio or television can also help you relax during this therapy. The patient should hold the oil for 10 to 15 minutes on the right side, then turn carefully to the left side and hold for another 10 to 15 minutes. Holding for less time is okay if discomfort occurs. Rest over a toilet for several minutes to release the oil, or use a bedpan if needed. What this lady does with her LD oils, none of us manages to do via painkillers, reported the Pain Research Institute. In fact, the practical application of the oils, both on the inside when eating oil and cottage cheese, as well as on the outside when using LD oils, allows the body to largely eliminate all narcotic substances. So let's begin. We will illustrate what a typical day on the protocol might look like. This will be presented in an easy-to-understand hourly format. These basic guidelines must be followed as precisely as possible. But since each patient is different, the daily plan might need to be modified according to each patient's capabilities. Before breakfast, you enjoy a small glass of sauerkraut juice on an empty stomach. You can also have a second glass in the evening if you wish. You might be wondering, where do I get sauerkraut juice? Well, if available, you can simply buy bottled sauerkraut juice. You can also buy sauerkraut and extract more juice using a juicer. But the best option is to make your own sauerkraut at home, then use a juicer to extract the juice. We will show you how. You will basically need 1 or more medium cabbages. Today we have 2. Since the more cabbages, the more juice you will have. A cutting board and a knife, some sea salt, a large bowl, a kitchen scale, and a glass container to store your shredded cabbage during fermentation. Let's begin. Peel the outer leaves and discard them. Remove the next layer and save 2 to 3 leaves, which will be needed later on. Cut the cabbage in half and remove the core. The core is rich in nutrients, so chop it well or grate it if you can. The core is actually very hard, so it takes a while to cut it into small pieces. Then, to make it easier, cut each half into 2 pieces and slice each piece into thin strips of the same thickness. We're done with the first cabbage. Now watch the same steps quickly as we slice the second cabbage. Among its many benefits, the compounds found in sauerkraut and its juice stimulate the immune system. It prevents cancer growth, particularly in the breast, colon, lung and liver. It's packed with vitamins and minerals, and it naturally supports digestion, so it's often used to treat constipation. After chopping both cabbages, we need to weigh all the shredded cabbage to calculate how much salt is needed. Today we have 3,000 grams of cabbage. We need to calculate the weight of 1% of 3,000 grams, which is 30 grams. Then we use the scale again to measure 30 grams of salt. And now we are ready to get started. Add the salt gradually as you add layers of shredded cabbage. Make sure the salt is evenly distributed. The goal is to use the salt to help release water from the cabbage So keep adding layers of salt and cabbage. As you bruise the shredded cabbage, it will release water, which will come to the top. Add extra water as needed. You can use your hands to mash and bruise the cabbage, but a potato masher works great as well. Keep pressing down firmly to remove all the air. If you see any larger pieces, make sure to break them up. Grab the cabbage leaves that we saved and place them on top to protect the shredded cabbage. The cabbage must be wet and fully covered with water. Add more water if needed. Air causes the cabbage to spoil, so if your container is not full, place a plastic bag inside and fill it with water to add weight. Leave only a small 2 to 3 centimeter gap between the bag and the lid. Then seal the bag and close your container. Notice we have a glass container, which is a great choice. Clay or ceramic pots are also great, but make sure to use a non-reactive container for fermentation. Your sauerkraut will be ready in 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the room's temperature. When it's ready, your sauerkraut should be refrigerated. To extract more juice, run the sauerkraut through an appropriate juicer. Centrifugal juices are not recommended. Sauerkraut benefits immune system since it contains phytochemicals which are created during the fermentation process. Fermentation also increases the nutritional values of the cabbage, especially vitamin C. It helps increase healthy flora in the intestinal tract, helping with the digestion. Although Dr. Budwig prescribed sauerkraut juice, buttermilk or acidophilus milk are other options that you can try. Fermented foods are said to facilitate the breakdown and assimilation of proteins, so it also helps with the digestion of the linamel muesli, which is coming up next. For breakfast, the linamel muesli should always be consumed. It should always be made fresh and never stored. Before we start, let's talk about the importance of the caregiver. Love and compassion are essential when caring for the patient. The protocol requires patients to ingest an abundance of the Budwig muesli on a daily basis. In order to accomplish this, the recipes must taste good. It's important to work with a patient to generate ideas and create tasteful combinations that are both satisfying as well as enjoyable. The oil protein diet offers complete, wholesome nutrition. Patients who follow closely will quickly regain vitality with this energy-rich diet. Note that the recipes are designed for an average-size adult. Prepare more or less according to your own weight and size. It's always fun to try new flavors and combinations, so watch as we prepare a tasty variation of the basic muesli recipe. After thoroughly mixing the cottage cheese with the flax oil alone, blend in some fresh or defrosted frozen fruits to add flavor. It also adds great color. Here we use some defrosted blueberries. Flavor with cinnamon, fruit juices, and a little honey if you'd like. Now add the linamel and cover it with strawberries, some fresh blueberries and raspberries. Then add the mixture on top and garnish with more fruits and omega-3 rich nuts, such as Brazil nuts or walnuts. They add nutrition and a nice texture too. The frozen items save time and can be a good option, but make sure to defrost them before serving. As a beverage, you may enjoy warm herbal teas with every meal. It adds warmth to the body and can be helpful for digestion. If you prefer, you may add a little honey to your tea, but never sugar. Try adding a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Studies show that the vitamin C found in citrus helps the body to absorb the antioxidants in tea. Of the many choices available, you can try green tea, podako tea, peppermint tea, or rosehip tea. Black tea is also allowed occasionally. Along with a muesli, heavy eaters may enjoy healthy snacks or a bowl of oatmeal porridge with linamel. Try whole grain bread with raw veggies and quality cheeses. It's best to choose something other than wheat breads, which are harder to digest. Gluten-free breads are the best choice and are now widely available. Use only oleolux as a spread, never butter. The cheeses should never be heated or melted. It's best to avoid eating additional dairy. If so, eat no more than 50 grams a day. And here is a suggestion that might come in handy. If you feel nauseous from the ground flax seeds, add ripe papaya to your muesli or drink papaya juice. Papayas are rich in digestive enzymes. They can help reduce nausea and stimulate the digestion of fats. Drinking pineapple juice is another great natural remedy. The protocol is more than just a diet. Sunlight is essential for healing and health. So Dr. Budwig suggested 10 to 20-minute sessions of sunbathing depending on your skin tone. If you have a darker skin tone, you will need more sunlight, but if you burn easily, increase your exposure gradually. Try to expose as much of the body as possible and avoid sunscreen as well as sunglasses while sunbathing. 1 or 2 sunbathing sessions per day is suggested, and you can also enjoy the sun while walking. Dr. Budwig wrote that the electrons in our food serve as the resonance system for the sun's energy. Unfortunately, these electron-rich foods are lacking in our modern diets. However, flax oil is packed with electron-rich omega-3 fatty acids. Because of this, being on the protocol reduces the risk of sunburning and increases the benefits of sunlight for the body. This allows the body to store the photons in sunlight, receiving the healing powers of the sun while stimulating the body's natural production of vitamin D. Vitamin D has also been shown to prevent breast cancer, so all patients are advised to expose the full chest to sunlight. If you don't have enough sunlight in your area, look for a vitamin D therapy sun lamp, which you can try instead. It's important to prepare fresh vegetable and fruit juices daily. Vegetable juices can include a small green apple for taste. You may enjoy different combinations throughout the day. It's best to purchase a juicer that grinds and collects the pulp, then press the pulp to collect the juice. This method extracts the most juice and nutrition from fruits and vegetables. These type of juices can be more costly, so try to find one within your budget. Investing in a quality juicer is very important. Always clean your fruits and vegetables very well and follow instructions for your own juicer. Lower quality juicers extract less juice and leave more wet pulp. Something you can try in this case is running the wet pulp through the juicer once or twice more to extract more liquid. Some tasty and nutritious juice combinations include asparagus juice, which has tremendous cancer-fighting properties, beet and apple, but beet juice should not be taken alone. Carrot and apple. Carrot and beet, an excellent detoxifying juice for the liver. Try 1 small beet and enough carrots to fill a cup. Celery and apple, or celery and carrot. For added nutrition, you can also add wheatgrass powder to your vegetable juices. Since your juicer is already on, you can pre-make your fruit juices to be taken with linamel later in the day. She often recommended blueberry juice, cherry juice, grape juice, papaya juice, or pineapple juice. Dr. Budwig recommends drinking fruit juices with 1 to 2 tablespoons of fresh linamel. It's okay to dilute your juices with water to make it less sweet when serving. If you're wondering about bottled fruit and vegetable smoothies sold at the natural markets, these are not acceptable and are not a replacement for fresh, pressed juices. Most of these are pasteurized and their enzymes have been destroyed. If you are pre-making and storing, however, you don't want light or air spoiling your juice. contact with air will reduce the levels of vitamin C, enzymes and other nutrients. So fill your bottle all the way to the top with juice before refrigerating. If the bottle is not full, the easiest trick is to add water. This simple solution will prevent air from oxidizing your juice. At any time during the day, enjoy some light exercises like walking, bike riding, or gentle yoga. You can plan activities outdoors to enjoy the fresh air and the sunlight. You must individualize your exercise program according to your strength, but never to the point of feeling tired. If you have the energy, you can walk after lunch as well as after dinner. You know, one form of exercise that is beneficial for most people is using a rebounder because it helps clear the lymph system and promotes better drainage. Dr. Budwig advised that often yoga or sport is very important, but sometimes the patient should not do this. And she also added, "I would never allow a cancer patient with metastases to jog, ride a bicycle, or to practice yoga. His body must relax." Weak patients should instead receive daily body massages to increase blood circulation. Lunch should include a raw salad, a cooked meal, and another serving of the muesli prepared in creative ways. Let's get going by adding the buckwheat to boiling water. Dr. Budwig uses buckwheat in many of her recipes because it is easy to digest, especially for the very ill. It has lower glucose than rice or oats. You can try adding buckwheat to soups as well. Prepare the salad dressing while the buckwheat cooks. Add a little fresh squeezed lemon juice, a little sea salt, some pepper, fine chopped garlic quickly cooked in coconut fat, and some oleox or flax oil. The grated cheese is optional. You can also save some cheese to sprinkle on top of the salad. Mix the dressing well and add it to your fresh salad greens. Note that the body can utilize 1 or 2 tablespoons of flax oil without cottage cheese per day. Next, add mixed vegetables to a stainless steel steamer with boiling water. They will be ready in about 10 minutes. Prepare a flax mayonnaise by mixing 3 tablespoons of flax oil with 100 grams of cottage cheese. Mix until the oil is fully blended in. Did you know flax oil provides nearly 3 times more omega-3 fatty acids than fish oil? Plus, it's rich in many essential vitamins and minerals. Now, add chopped garlic, some pepper, a little sea salt, and some lemon juice. Mix all the flavours in to make a great tasting dip for your vegetables. It smells really great too. Flaxseed oil, as you can see, is a major ingredient in Dr. Budwig's recipes, and it's consumed in every meal. Its many benefits continue to surprise us. When taken correctly, it can also help alleviate asthma, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, PMS, depression, and much more. An oil protein dessert can be prepared in many creative ways. Add any natural flavourings you'd like. Watch this quick and fun strawberry vanilla ice cream recipe. Mix 3 tablespoons of flax oil with 100 grams of cottage cheese, the same way we did during breakfast. In a larger bowl, add defrosted strawberries, 1 tablespoon of pure honey, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 3 tablespoons of milk, the muesli mixture, and mix well. Be careful not to splash oil as you mix. If you don't have an ice cream maker, watch this old-fashioned technique with ice cubes and salt. Use a small Ziploc bag to hold the mixture and a larger one to hold the ice. Seal your small bag well. Add salt to the ice bag and mix it in. Then place your mixture inside and shake it all up until the ice cream is ready. Might take a few minutes. If it is not freezing up well, then place the whole thing in the freezer for a few minutes before serving. This recipe smells and tastes delicious once it's ready. Garnish with fresh fruit if you'd like. Nuts may also be added generously to desserts. Take some time daily to relax or enjoy an activity that you like. Activities can include enjoying nature, visualization exercises, listening to healing music, reading uplifting material, practicing deep breathing, talking to friends, and so on. Work on eliminating any stressful situations and negative relationships in your life. Stress, as well as anger, sadness, and fear, can be very damaging to the body. If you need, find a support group and share your feelings to release stress from your mind and heart. Visualization, for example, can also help the healing process. Here's a visualization that you can practice. Begin by taking deep and relaxing breaths. On every inhale, imagine warm, beautiful, healing light radiating throughout your whole body. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, light and energy, radiating, shining, and healing your body from diseases, pains, and all worries. On the exhale, imagine the unhealthy cells being flushed out of your body, while the healthy cells divide and grow as health is regained. At any time, you can enjoy a glass of pure fruit juice, wine or champagne with 1 to 2 tablespoons of linamel. Champagne with freshly grounded flax seeds is especially recommended for brain tumor patients or for those who are weak in order to improve digestion and to give an energy boost. The bubbly characteristic of the champagne acts as a carrier of the oil to the brain. Chew the seeds well to stimulate better digestion. Look for Brut Natural champagne to ensure no sugar was added in the fermentation process. And be sure to close the champagne bottle properly so you don't lose the effervescence the next day. If you're wondering, beer is not part of the protocol as it's heavily carbonated. And likewise, carbonated waters as well as sodas are also not allowed. These drinks tend to be very acidic and can also cause calcium loss, potassium loss, and promote kidney stones. Since cancer cells feed on sugar, drink more vegetable juices instead of sweeter fruit juices to get faster results with the diet. Dinner should start at 6 p.m. sharp, as Dr. Budwig advised. We will prepare a warm vegetable soup, steam spinach with an oleax dressing, and flavoured brown rice. For the soup, we have cut some leeks, some black pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, a little sea salt, chopped potatoes, and lentils. After the water is already boiling, we add the lentils. Let it cook for about 20 minutes and add the chopped potatoes. Note that Dr. Budwig did not recommend potatoes for those who are very ill or very mentally active. Potatoes can be heavy on the digestive system and are better for people who are very athletic. Then add the chopped leeks, paprika, cayenne pepper, black pepper, and some sea salt. In another pan, add oleolux, red pepper, black pepper, and sea salt. Add the brown rice on top and mix well to flavour the rice. Then add boiling water, mix again and close the pan. This recipe is very tasty. Meanwhile, the lentils are almost ready, so we can start on a quick and easy spinach side dish. We have some fresh spinach leaves that we've rinsed well, oleolux, garlic that was quickly cooked in coconut fat, and some soy sauce. Use a stainless steel steamer and wait until the water is boiling. Add the spinach leaves and cook for about 3 to 4 minutes, then remove immediately. Add the sauce in and mix well. Make sure to cover all the spinach leaves with the sauce so they taste great. Serve the spinach, the flavoured rice, and the lentil potato soup and enjoy. A cup of warm tea may also be served, or, if you're having problems sleeping, try half a small cup of red wine instead, which is helpful for insomnia. And this completes the end of a day in the Budwig protocol. The oil protein diet is very nutritious and it contains around 2,500 to 3,000 calories. This is important for the patient to recover their health and strength. If you're a small person, you can reduce the regular calorie intake by preparing less of each recipe. According to Dr. Budwig, the patient can reduce the amount of oil and calories gradually after regaining health if desired. And if you are wondering how long you should follow the protocol for, the answer is coming up next. Now remember our trash can animation at the start of the DVD. If you bring back any of the cancer-causing elements, you are increasing the chance of cancer or other diseases to return. Dr. Budwig suggested following her protocol very strictly for at least 5 years. Up to 8 years is even better. This 5-year rule is very important. Many people feel overwhelmed when they learn the protocol. But as we've shown in this DVD, once you get the ingredients and the equipment, it's actually very easy. Dr. Budwig also recommended her diet to children, working adults and athletes. It greatly increases their performance at school, work and in sports. The science behind the Budwig protocol is extensive. She has published numerous works as we have shown earlier. They're all highly recommended for those who wish to learn more. Thanks for watching.